Oh, for me, it's about seeing, I guess, the best mountain ranges in the world.
Just the sheer adventure of the trip is a great thrill.
It's a character test and a challenge.
A mate of mine, Tony Hurd, who I've known for about 30 years, he sent an email out. This was a great opportunity. We'd talked about it previously, said, yeah, great. Sent it out to a couple of mates of mine as well.
I hadn't thought about, I didn't have any dreams of going up to base camp. I'd never considered doing it before. I just thought, oh, look, I'll give it a go.
Where this trip originally came from was a leadership program that I was on about 2 years ago. When I originally came up with the idea, I thought, I don't want to go and do this by myself. I need a group of mates to come and do this.
Without any thought whatsoever, I said, I'm in.
When he suggested the trip, it was a great opportunity to do this expedition because I wanted to do it for many, many years.
I used to go trekking, and the idea of coming back and walking through the hills reminds me of Scotland.
It's easy to be inspired and it's easy to find pictures. It's all there for the taking.
We've all heard about Everest, we've all heard about these fantastic views here. Nothing can quite prepare you for the real thing.
My name's Steve Hoffman. I am 48 years of age. I work for Bunnings.
My name's Anthony Sharp. I'm 39 years old and I'm an actor and singer.
Anthony Turzo, 49 years of age, Director of Merchants of Venice.
I'm Grant Cashin. I'm 51 years of age and I work in financial management in Melbourne.
I'm Gordon Watts, 54 years old. I'm a veterinary surgeon.
I'm Jules Tahan. I'm 38 years old and I'm a photographer in Melbourne.
I'm Ari Athanasopoulos. I'm 48 years old and I'm the head of global retail property at ANZ.
I'm John Rawlings. I'm 51 years of age and I'm a director of a Melbourne-based marketing company.
Tony Hurd, 51 and brand manager for Bunnings.
Got mates here I've known for 30 years, also new friends, and 4 or 5 guys I never met before, and they're really good blokes.
It was an awesome opportunity to come with a bunch of guys that I didn't really know and share the trek with.
The teamwork, I think, has been great. Everyone's been pushing everyone else on.
There's a lot of laughter, there was a lot of fun, the boys enjoyed each other's company.
There's been a little bit of stirring about the yaks, I've got to say, but I can give as good as I get.
We were trekking up a hill at one stage and a couple of road yaks came down the hill straight towards us. All of a sudden Steve started rolling down the hill in a panic mode with this yak after him.
This July in Mongolia, it's yak racing season and it is on! See the Goliath Booker I take on fleet-footed upstart Bilikai. Watch as crowd favourite Sukpatar locks horns with 3-time champion Naren Stag. Only one rider will take home the coveted Mule's Head of victory. So get in on the action! Buy a specially marked 6-pack of Fat Yak and you and 2 friends could race the gods of the Gobi in Mongolia. Saddle up, it's yak racing season! To find out more, visit our website.
I think getting to base camp will be number 1, exciting, number 2, awfully emotional, and thirdly, just thinking about all the people who've done it before you.
We've all heard the stories from other tourists coming down that are saying it's hard, you know, they didn't make it, looking at our group, and everyone's seeing very, very strong both mentally and physically.
I think the biggest challenge so far has been the altitude by a mile. Everyone tells you about it, but until you've actually experienced that shortness of breath, you don't really understand what it's going to do to you.
You just got to get through, and the physical side of it is part of the challenge.
My problem started above 3,800 metres. Altitude sickness started to kick in. I measured where we went, not by the towns we stayed in, but by the altitude we were at.
The biggest challenge for me was definitely the sickness. I started to feel sick around 3,400.
The one goal was to get to base camp. Unfortunately, that day, Jules was very sick.
I really started to get the headaches and realise that, oh, this is affecting me. That was the day we were going to trek into base camp, and I just thought, I can't do this. My mind gave up on me and just told me that I couldn't go any further. As soon as I realised that I'd come this far and I couldn't go to base camp, it was really tough.
I felt really torn whether to stay with Jules and not go and see if we could go later. I headed off with the other 7 people in the team.
In my mind, I knew I had to turn it around. Then I started to negotiate with myself.
And then I saw Jules struggling up the hill. That's who I wanted to get to base camp. So I turned around and we both went back together. We put our arms around each other and we took a photo, and I'll cherish that.
Where I come from, we don't get to see these monsters. It's both intimidating and exhilarating.
And it's been everything I thought it would be and more.
No, it was fantastic to get to our top of the world.
That was just an amazing experience. The glaciers and the snow, it was just like a moonscape.
You can see a photo of a mountain, but when you experience something with some guys and you go through it together, that's really the special moment for me. To pay tribute to soldiers during that Anzac ceremony at a time when you're thinking of your family, again, it's a very emotional experience.
I thought base camp was all about the destination, and that was a very telling moment and very emotional moment, I think, for most people.
That walk up to Kalipatar was really, really tough. All the boys were suffering with altitude, with various sicknesses. Being up there, minus 10 degrees, freezing cold. I actually thought about my eldest son, Jack, who's had a difficult experience the last 12 months. He injured his back and he's gone through a lot of pain and suffering. I thought about him when I was going through tough times.
When I get to Kalipatar, it's going to be a lifelong dream to see Everest in all its glory.
For a group to actually get through and hit all the key objectives that we set there to do, such as all getting to base camp, all getting to Kalipatar, and all getting back as a crew in one piece.
If I had to sum up this trip in 3 words, I would say exhilarating, breathtaking, and finally, testing.
The most exciting thing about coming here for me is just every day's been a postcard. I've used the term champagne hiking, and that's what it is. It's just fantastic.
I felt happiness, I felt elation, I felt anger, I felt disappointment. I'm already making plans to come back next year.
When we started the trek, I knew it would be hard. I think we all expected that, but some of the mountains we've climbed and just the sheer intensity of the climbing and the walking has been pretty amazing.
For a couple of days, it was a struggle. I certainly found it a struggle. Having a beer helps as well.
I just felt free and looked around, and it is just spectacular. We've now interviewed all the guys in the group and put together a little story that we'll be able to keep for years to come and have memories to look back on, and it's just been fantastic.
2 highlights for me. First one was getting all 9 of us up to Kalipatar. The second one was playing 500 with Jules and going open Misère and coming from nowhere to win it, and that was a real highlight too. We've played a lot of 500 on this trip, and you don't win open Misère every day of the week, so that was another highlight.
Awesome experience, tough, hard, but fun.
Very hard trip, very enjoyable, lots of tears, lots of elation, lots of enjoyment, and a bloody bunch of mates.